Hey, I'm Callie Lewis. You're watching Geek Brief TV. This is Brief 187, DearCallie.com. Question 1. This is a great tip for podcasters. How does one add a PDF, Word, Excel, PowerPoint pages, Keynote, etc. file into the podcast subscription format? For instance, my iTunes subscription to Make Magazine's video podcast often offers PDF files that go along with the video podcast. What does one do to the file to include it in the podcast subscription? Well, it's actually not something you do to the file itself, it's something you do to the feed. iTunes supports M4A, MP3, MOV, MP4, M4V, and PDF files, but not Word, Excel, PowerPoint, etc. You can find a link to their podcaster tech specs page at geekbrief.tv or dearcallie.com. So, you want to include a PDF file. You're going to need access to edit the actual feed, and you'll need a bit of knowledge about RSS tags so you don't get overwhelmed. Rob Walsh at Podcast 411 has a great guide for editing your RSS feed. Let me show you what you're looking for. This is the enclosure tag. This particular example is for an MP3, an audio file. You'll just need to change it to your file name .pdf. Instead of type equals audio MPEG, use type equals application PDF. And of course, your URL will link to a PDF stored on your server. The length refers to the size of your file in bytes. So if your file is 199.7 megabytes, then you'll enter the length as 209,367,040. Whew, don't worry, you don't have to calculate it every time. If you're on a Mac, click on the file and hit Apple I to get info. You'll see the size in both megabytes and bytes. If you're on a PC, right-click on the file, choose Properties, and you'll find the size in both megabytes and bytes. When you save your RSS file and upload it if you're not using an online editor, the file will be released on your feed and you're done. Second question. I know Final Cut Pro is the industry standard editing program, but I'm on Windows and I would like to get experience with what I'd probably be using. So my question is, what's the industry standard editing program for Windows? The Windows alternative to Final Cut Pro is Adobe Premiere Pro. The newest version, Premiere Pro CS3, now includes On Location and Encore. Avid Express Pro is another option, and it works on both PCs and Macs. And Avid is really the industry standard, but in conversations I've had with pros, it's mainly the standard for legacy reasons. Avid's been taught in film schools for years, so studios use it. People tell me it's more complicated to learn and doesn't offer distinct advantages over Final Cut Pro or Adobe Premiere Pro. Pros use all three, so take a look at all three and see which one fits the way you want to work. Number 3. How do I convert existing files to play on my iPod and Apple TV? A free converter for both PCs and Macs is MPEG Streamclip. It converts to QuickTime, AVI DivX, MPEG-4, and others. iPod Video Converter is also free and it's PC only. For Macs, iSquint is free. It simply converts to iPod-friendly files. Visual Hub, though, converts to iPod, PSP, DV, DVD, TiVo, AVI, MP4, WMV, MPEG, and Flash. It's $23.32. Why the 32 cents? Don't ask, but it's worth at least twice that. Fourth question. What is Creative Commons and why do you need it? I've been seeing more and more of it around. Great question. Creative Commons was created to give writers, artists, musicians, filmmakers more flexibility than we have with copyright. With copyright, all rights are reserved for up to 120 years, whether or not the producer wants them to be. Creative Commons allows a copyright owner to grant some rights to the public while keeping other rights, and producers can choose the rights they want to grant. For example, if someone wants to download episodes of Geek Brief TV and burn them onto CDs to give to friends, they can do it without having to ask for written permission because the work is licensed under Creative Commons. If we used a traditional copyright, they would need to legally get permission from us to give away and to promote our show. Our Creative Commons license, however, does not grant the right for someone to use our show commercially or re-edit it. Some people choose a Creative Commons license that does allow the work to be copied and used commercially. Because of Creative Commons, I can play this video without having to ask for written permission, and it explains Creative Commons.
When you share your creativity, you're enabling people anywhere to use it, learn from it, and be inspired by it. Take the teacher who shapes young minds with work and wisdom from around the globe, and the artist who builds beauty out of bits and pieces she finds online, and the writer whose stories use ideas and images crafted by people he's never even met. These people know that when you share your creative wealth, you can accomplish great things. They and millions of other people all around the planet are working together to build a richer, better, more vibrant culture using Creative Commons. To understand Creative Commons, you need to know a little bit about how copyright works. Did you know that when you create something, anything, from a photograph to a song, to to a drawing, to a film, to a story, you automatically own an all rights reserved copyright to that creativity. It's true. Copyright protects your creativity against uses you don't consent to. But sometimes full copyright is too restrictive. What about when you want all those millions and millions of people out there to use your work without the hassle of coming to you for permission? What if you want your work to be freely shared, reused, and built upon by the rest of the world? Luckily, there's an answer. Creative Commons. We provide free copyright licenses you can use to tell people exactly which parts of your copyright you're happy to give to the public. It's easy. It only takes a minute and it's totally free. Just come to our website and answer a few quick questions like, will you allow commercial uses of your work? And will you allow your work to be modified? Based on your answers, we'll give you a license that clearly communicates what people can and can't do with your creativity. You don't give up your copyright. You refine it so it works better for you. Welcome to a new world where collaboration rules. It didn't even exist just a few years ago, but now there are millions and millions of songs, pictures, videos, and written works available to share, reuse, and remix, all for free. Want to work together? Then join the Commons. Creative Commons.
You can find more questions and answers at DearCallie.com, and if you have a technical question, send it to DearCallie@GeekBrief.com. Be sure to make the subject line a summary of your question. This helps me out tremendously when I'm responding. I'm Callie Lewis. Enjoy your technology, and thanks for watching. Let me show what you're looking for. How'd that come out? Let me show what you're looking for. This is the... Let me show what you... Sorry.